you want to juxtapose this to this, okay? Because as we talked about tight and loose, you want to play really a certain amount of tiers, probably tier 3 and better from very early position. Like hands like ace jack and king queen, although they're decent hands, again, they're kind of this fourth tier here. Again, and I'm talking sort of in general at a full ring game, under the gun, those hands aren't awesome because with this many players to act behind you, if someone has a hand like, if you're holding, let's just say, king queen, and someone has ace king, you're in a dominated position. You're in pretty bad shape against that hand. Calculator here, and we'll take a look exactly what that means. So let's say you have king queen offsuit, and someone else has ace king suited. Okay, you are you have 23% what we call equity in the hand versus ace king. They're going to win 75% of the time. So this is a pretty tough spot. This is a pretty tough spot. So the key, one of the best ways to be a winning player is to avoid situations like this where you are getting yourself into what we call dominated spots, dominated situations. So hands like king queen, it's not a bad hand per se, but again, it's all relative, right? So if everyone folds to you and you have king queen in these positions here, let's say, yeah, sure, that's probably worth a raise. Up here in early position with so many people to act behind you, there's probably a better spot and probably better hands that you can play. Your hand strength is not absolute. It's all relative. It's all a matter of, okay, the strength of your hand is only as good or as bad as your opponent's hand, and that comes back to quickly the reasons for betting in poker, which is you're either betting for value or you're betting as a bluff. And when you're betting for value, that means basically, will your opponent call you with a worse hand? So if you have the best hand but your opponent folds, you're not getting any value. So you need to be able to justify it as, okay, I'm going to bet and my opponent will call with worse hands. That is how you get value in poker. If they're not going to call you with a worse hand, then maybe checking is a better option, and that will induce them to bluff. A bluff being the second reason for betting, which is getting your opponent to fold a better hand. So really, to simplify it, is essentially, will my opponent call with worse value, or will my opponent fold better, bluff? And if it's not clear that either of those are the case, then checking is probably a better decision. Let them make a bet, and then you can adjust to them, and you basically allow them to make mistakes. So again, we're getting a little bit more technical in terms of strategy, but just again, these are all setting the foundation for things that we're going to build out a little bit later.